Maps are one of the most underutilized tools in JavaScript. Many developers simply default to using objects as a key value store and never even consider the trade-offs. Let's compare them side by side. Here I have created an array. We will iterate over each entry, use it as a key, write a value to the map, and compare the times it takes to run this code. First we'll do it for objects and then for maps. As you can see, the difference is pretty significant. It takes 99 milliseconds to run the object mapping and only 16 milliseconds when we use maps. The reason why we are getting a big difference like this is because objects automatically convert keys to strings, which gives additional performance overhead. So if we try to change this to a string, let's say mat random, so now all keys will be strings. Let's run it again. As you can see, we've cut the time in half, but it's still much slower. Once we've built the map, we sometimes need to get its size. There is no convenient way of getting the size of the object, and the only way is to use this object.keys. With maps, we get this size property, which we can use in constant time. As you can see, object.keys is quite slow. It takes 18 milliseconds to calculate, and maps.size is pretty much instant. Both maps and objects can be traversed, but the way we traverse them is a little bit different. When dealing with objects, we need to use this object.keys in order to get all keys, and then we can run a for each loop over them. With maps, we can simply run a for each loop over the map object, which will give us a callback over its entries. In terms of performance, we already know that object.keys is quite slow, and it shows. It took us 15 milliseconds to iterate over the entries of the object, and only 1 millisecond using for each loop in the map. An important difference worth mentioning here is that objects only accept strings or symbol as keys, and if you try to provide anything else like a number or a function, it will be converted to a string, which comes with the performance bottlenecks and also a lot of confusion if you're not aware of that. In conclusion, maps can provide some performance boosts to our applications, especially when dealing with larger inputs. Whenever we deal with small inputs, say 10,000 entries or less, the performance gains are not so clear. So if it's more readable for you to use objects, by all means, I don't think you can go wrong with that. Thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something new today.